What's going on, everybody? This is an Out of the Theater reaction on the Down to Earth channel for Disclosure Day. I don't normally do these Out of the Theater reactions on this channel. I usually do them on my pop culture channel, obviously, when I see movies, but I did one for Disclosure Day on that channel, but I really talked about the movie aspect of it. And I talked about how, I was looking at it the way that I look at every other movie, with the review, with a first-time reaction, how it was put together as a film, the story, the music, all that. Obviously, I'm not going to do that for this channel. I'll give a couple brief thoughts on that. But this is just my reaction to the movie. I can't really give too many details of a review or anything too, because not allowed to do that for a couple of days. But I can give you my initial thoughts and more or less what I really wanted to talk about that doesn't pertain to the review aspect of it is just what, if anything, this movie will do for actual disclosure. So the movie itself is a really good movie. We'll start with that. And Steven Spielberg is a master, and it's probably one of his best that he's done in quite a long time. As I mentioned in the other review, the movie works. It's solid, it's a great story, there's great performances. You want to check out the more detailed aspect of that, watch my other Out of the Theater reaction on my main channel. Now, the stuff that works as far as UAP stuff, because I saw some guy comment, he's like, oh, you're changing your tune. You said this was going to be a big moment for Disclosure. It's going to be part of it. And in a certain aspect, it is. Because, and I haven't changed my tune on that, Jerry. I don't even know if that's the guy's name. But this is, the reason why it's important, even though that this is clearly a movie, it gets the conversation going. And there are things for people, it's similar to Age of Disclosure, where, meaning that at one point I was listening and they mentioned certain events, certain things that have been mentioned throughout UAP reports and lore, if you will, and even something that they show in the particular trailer itself. And I was watching this stuff, and I'm looking over at these people that were next to me, and I was thinking to myself, are they in tune with knowing that some of this stuff has actually been talked about, whether it's reverse engineering or any of those things, or is they just think that this is part of the script? That this is just kind of Steven Spielberg thinking that these things are out there, that there's, how much of the conversation is there really? Because the tone of what it means, and as far as Disclosure Day goes, that's the stuff that is important. Because contrary to that guy's belief of what the guy said to me, is like, oh, you're changing your tune. No, not at all. Because as Steven Spielberg is promoting this movie, and as Steven Spielberg continues to talk about disclosure, and he's talking about how things could actually come to be, that this happens down the line, that we find out we're not alone, those things, that is all very important moving forward. Who else is he going to be talking to? I still think that Steven Spielberg should be talking to people like George Knapp, Jeremy Corbell, any of these podcasts that talk about UAPs, to really dive a little deeper, because there are things in the movie for sure that he takes from real life. And even though it's not like Lockheed Martin, there's things that could represent Lockheed Martin. There's things that could represent certain aspects of things that have been rumored. And the parallels are indeed that there has been this cover-up for however many years. The thing that I find interesting is whether or not, and similar to, again, this is in the trailer where you see that Josh O'Connor is the one who's going to try to release these secrets, is who is that person? You know, David Grush could be, well, maybe it's Grush. Grush could be the guy who said there's something going on out there, but who's the actual person that says enough is enough, this is it, this is the deal? There is that stuff in there, and I hope that this does start the conversation with people outside, because it puts it in the pop culture mind. And I've always said that on this channel, and that's why I continue to stand by with what I said. My arm's getting tired. I think that if this movie performs and people really respond to it, it's now in the pop culture zeitgeist, and people are now saying, oh, it's like that Spielberg movie. There's actually these things happening. There is actually a reverse engineering program. There actually is this. There actually is that. That's that type of stuff. Things that kind of are mentioned within this movie could now just be in the public perception. I hope people check it out because, again, outside of that, it's a good movie. John Williams does the score, and it just felt like an old Spielberg film. So overall, I enjoyed the movie. I really think that it's more so a thing of the conversation continues and it becomes more, it makes it a little less taboo, if that makes sense. So that's just kind of my thoughts of how this kind of pertains to disclosure, how that pertains to anything else kind of moving forward. I don't know how the movie's going to do. I hope it does well. I hope people check it out. I hope people are interested enough to see it. There is some things that happen, and it's something that I almost want to talk about more in the spoiler, that there are things that happen that I said, oh, I wish that is how it will be, would be, could be. There are certain things that happen, and I'm like, interesting. So thanks for being here. I appreciate you. Make sure you click like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Thanks for being here in DTE. Appreciate it. Be back soon. Bye.